Hey everyone, it's Vinny, and I am back. It's the week of Thanksgiving, and we are looking at Aqueduct for Saturday the 25th and Sunday the 26th. So let's get into it. For Saturday, we are going to start on race 8 is an allowance optional claimer, and the number 4 comparative is back for Brad Cox. Looking at the rest of this field, I'm willing to take a shot with her off the layoff. She was running pretty good until she ran in that Black-Eyed Susan back in May, where she didn't belong. She was not good, nearly good enough that day. She didn't have the best of trips, but she wasn't getting there either way. She's been on the bench since, but this race is kind of filled with runners who seem to peak earlier this year and have kind of fallen off a little bit. So for that reason, I'm willing to give the number 4 comparative the nod as my top pick here. I'm hoping she's around like 3 or 4 to 1 against this field. There are horses in here who have been running and winning uh, in the last few months, but the last couple starts for a lot of these runners have not been anything spectacular. So, with Cox being as good as he is, getting horses ready off layoffs, I think comparative fits nicely here. The other horse I'm going to put comparative with is the number 2 Into Happiness from Mark Hennig, who just seems to be the most consistent of the runners out of the rest of this field. She shows up pretty much every time. She's finished either first or third in her last 5 races. The last race was third in the Pumpkin Pie Stakes last time out here. If she runs back to that effort, she should finish in the money again. I'm hoping that's at least good enough to win or come in second to comparative. I think this exact is going to pay over 10 to 1 with these two. I think this is going to be a very balanced betting race. I don't think anybody's going to be a sub 2 to 1 here. So I think this will be a very good betting race. Again, I'm hoping comparative is around 4 to 1 at least to play to win. And as long as this exacta is 10 to 1 or higher, I will be playing that as well. Race number 9 on Saturday is the Grade 3 Comley Stakes for 3-year-old fillies going 1.125 miles on the main track. I like Raging Sea, the number 8 here for Chad Brown. She's jumping back to Stakes Company for the first time since she finished third in the 2022 Breeders' Cup Juvenile Filly. I know that race has not come back strong. It's been a pretty weak group, but Chad's been kind of easing her back into it, and she has improved in all 3 starts as a 3-year-old this year. This field, again, does not seem to be anything crazy. So, with another jump forward, I think she fits very nicely against this group. She shouldn't have to set the pace today. She should be able to sit a length or 2 behind the pace, which is what she wants to do. I think she fits very nicely in here for Chad. And the horse I'm going to put with her is the number 7 Divining Purpose for Kenny McPeek. I truthfully have not been a fan of this runner all year. I think she's been overplaced pretty much all year, and she's run well in spots. She ran very good in the Mother Goose last time out. I didn't really give her a chance in that spot, but she ran very well. I think this might be a spot where she could win here. This is not a tough field, in my opinion. So, for that reason, if she runs back to her Mother Goose effort, the rest of the field is going to be very, very hard pressed to beat her. I think she is one of the better horses here. I think she's probably going to be around like 2.5, 3 to 1. I think she's probably going to be the favorite in here. But if not, I think you could end up getting 4 or 5 to 1 on a horse that probably should be the favorite in here based on her resume. I'm hoping this exacta is at least going to pay 8 to 1. If it's not going to pay 8 to 1, I'm just going to play Raging Sea to win. But otherwise, if this exact is going to pay 8 to 1, I will play it. But Raging Sea is my top pick in here for Chad Brown. I think Chad's just got her on a nice path here and another progression forward, and she'll be very tough to beat in the Grade 3 Comley Stakes. Looking at Sunday's card, race number 6 is an allowance optional claim. We're going 6.5 on the dirt. And this race is filled with speed horses who don't like to finish the job. And for that reason, I'm going to go with the number 6 Desert Dalliance for Rudy Rodriguez with Jose Gomez riding. This one needs a pace. I think she gets it here. She'll be coming late. I think she's going to be I think she's probably going to be one of the longer prices on the board. But a lot of these speed horses here, like Virtual Reality, who I think is the best of the speed horses in here, don't really like to seem to finish the job and kind of seem to be one pace speed horses and don't usually have that extra kick in the stretch. So I think there's a good chance if this pace is more on the fast side with this group, or these speed horses just come back to the field. I think the number 6 Desert Dalliance has a very good chance of just picking up the pieces at a big price. The other horse in here who I think can do the same thing is the number 5 Mongolian Panther for David Jacobson. Another horse wants to sit behind the pace. I don't think these pace horses are anything fantastic. I think I think has a very good chance with a clean trip. Can just pass tired runners in the stretch. I think they're both going to be decent prices. If I was going to play them with a speed horse, it would be Virtual Reality, the number 1, who I think is the best of the speed horses. But I'm going to try to beat the speed in here. I am just going to play the number 6 Desert Dalliance to win, and I'll play a 5-6 exacta and hope that the speed just completely collapses in here, like I think it will. Because I think most of these speed horses want to go 5.5 or 6. I think the 6.5, that last half furlong, I think some of these speed horses are just gonna completely lose steam and get past. Race number 9 on Sunday is another allowance optional claimer. This time it's going 1 mile in the dirt, and Goddess of Fire, the number 7 for Todd Pletcher, is back. And she hasn't been seen in over a year, but Todd's very good at getting horses ready off the layoff. She has run against much better and run well against much better in the past. She's only 1 for 10 lifetime, but she's got 4 seconds, two of those in grade 2s, and she's got 2/3 in her career, one of those in the grade 1 Alabama last summer, finishing behind Nest and Secret Oath. If she runs back to these stakes caliber efforts that she was running in 2022, she's going to be very tough to beat here. This is not a great group. I think she's probably going to be the favorite. I think she'll probably be around 2-1. If she's 2-1 or higher, I will play her to win. If she's lower than 2-1, I will just key her in doubles and pick threes. For doubles, just check the probables before during race 8. You can kind of gauge on what she's going to be. I think she's going to be the favorite around 2-1. I'll play her to win there. I'm hoping Todd has her ready off the bench, and we see her next year for a 5-year-old year, because she was a very good runner who just got unfortunate as a 3-year-old running against some very, very good horses when they were going good, like Nest and Secret Oath, who just were great 3-year-olds. So that's the number 7, Goddess of Fire. Best of luck if you are playing this weekend, and I will see you next time.